I guess this panel is called Embracing Your New Teammates, so I want to talk about that a little bit too. And a very different story for you two, because Jeff, you played here before, so you knew some of the guys, you knew some of the people in the organization. I believe you were able to move into the same house that you lived in before. I could be wrong, but at least the same area. Whereas Troy, this is an entirely new deal. He had to meet a lot of new people. So let's start with Jeff and talk about how comforting that was to be able to come back home, so to speak, especially considering this is your home.
Yeah, well, it makes a lot of things easier. I think this is, if you consider it my second go around here, this is now my sixth team. So it's once you move around a little bit, you like a little stability. So to not have to move at the end of the summer was nice and be a little familiar. But for the most part, it was a lot like going to a new team. Other than having a few players, a lot of the trainers were the same, some friendly faces and upstairs. But it was a lot of new players to get to know and still get to know. And I always think that's not the most difficult, but it's the most important part of getting to a new team is building relationships and kind of going beyond the on-ice stuff and learning with those guys. But for me to have a little bit of a base coming back here helped. But it's still a process to get to know the guys.
How do you build those relationships? Is it playing around at golf? Is it going out and having a couple of beers? How do you guys do that?
It can be done a lot of ways. Just like you said, a lot of times right now is a good time to golf. We were supposed to play yesterday and it rained all day, but yeah, I mean, once the team's kind of pared down, I don't think I've been on the ice with Ovi once because of the way the practices work. So I mean, I used him as an example, but until you really get to the team this time of year, then you start, just at the rink. There's different ways, and you try to make an effort after games to go out with guys, or if you're with couples to go out and eat dinner together. But as far as people use different, I've done ropes courses this time of year, and also golf tournaments. I think the best thing is just when you get the guys together, and whether it's after a game or hanging out away from the rink.
Troy, what's the adjustment been like for you? I think I read somewhere that one of your first calls was to Ovi to ask him about the team, houses, and just a little bit of everything.
Not quite, but no, I got traded. For me, it's the first time, whether it's junior or pro, that I've ever got traded, moved to a new team. So it's a little bit different for me. The only guys that I had known on the team was Fair and Schultz, just from playing against them in the Western League. And then 2 years ago at the Olympic break, we actually ended up at the same resort in Jamaica. So I hung out with them a little bit and got to know them. So that was my only guy that I knew on the team after Fair got traded. I came down here a couple weeks after I got traded and looked for a place. I got a phone call from one of the guys that was here before saying that he lives here in the summer, and I'm more than welcome to rent his place out if I need a place to stay. And for me, it was just nice and easy to do that because I still have a house in Chicago that one of the players is renting for me, and it's kind of a hassle if you have to move your entire life from one city to the next. And I live in Vancouver in the summertime, so there's another city that I have to move all the way from. So for me, it's a little bit of an adjustment, but hockey players are hockey players, and they all get along. You don't always have to like everyone, but you spend so much time with the people that you do get along with them and make friendships. As far as the Ovi comment goes, I was on the phone with some friends and some newspaper after I got traded, and Ovi gave me a call and left a message, and I couldn't really understand what he was saying. But I got the gist of it, and he gave me his phone number, so I gave him a call back, and he just said that he was happy to have me on the team, and is looking forward to get to camp to meet me.
We forget that you guys are just regular dudes, and you get traded, and that means you have to move, and you have to pack boxes, and if you're married and have a family, you have to do that too. What was that like when you first found out that you were traded?
Well, I kind of had an idea going into the draft that I was going to get traded. Just for my contract talks with Chicago, it wasn't going anywhere. They had expressed that if there was interest in me, they would move me. So I had an idea that I was on the move. I had no idea it was going to be to a team like Washington. And as a hockey player, I'm very thankful and very excited to come to a winning hockey team and a chance that has, or a team that has a chance to win the Stanley Cup. So for me, that was a big relief coming to a winning team. But you know, coming to a good city where all I've heard is great things about coming here, the fans, the people around the city, and just a fun city and a lot to do in the city. So you're not sitting at home every day and being bored. But me and my wife were sitting in Vancouver and trying to figure out when we were going to fly down to Chicago to try and move all our stuff out, and we actually didn't end up doing it until the beginning of September. But to go down there and to try and figure out what you need to pack, what you need to throw out, what you need to just donate and kind of move on with. It's a long, frustrating process, and anyone will tell you when you have a move, there's always tension. So it went pretty well, but you know, loaded up a U-Haul and drove from Chicago to Washington here at the beginning of September, and got settled into our place. And now that the move is all done, and it's a lot easier on me and my wife.